Hey, seventh graders, it is May 5th, and this is your math lesson for today. I am recording this on May 4th, so I'm still celebrating Star Wars Day. I'm dressed up like Rey, so if you're feeling inspired to dress up, please do that. But for you, happy Cinco de Mayo. Today we're going to solve problems using percent increase and decrease. So we're extending our skills from yesterday, just solving percent problems, the part, the whole, or the percent. And we're applying that to story problems related to percent increase and decrease. Okay. One thing that I want to remind you of is that we are still using the ratio table for all of these questions. We're getting really, really good at using this for percent problems, and we're already really good at using it outside of percents. So keep it up, keep using that ratio table. One reminder that I want to give you is that we do think about the original amount in the story as the whole or as 100%. Okay. Why do we think that is? The original is the whole or 100% because if I say that an amount increased by 10%, then that means 10% of the original amount was the amount that was increased. So the original amount is the whole or 100%. Okay, let's go ahead and take a moment to set up our notes. And I jotted down that reminder here. Go ahead and add that to your notes as well. Awesome. If you need more time, go ahead and pause the video, okay? But we are going to move on to question number 1. Follow along with me, please. The cost of a meal at a local restaurant last year was $7.50. This year, the meal costs $9. What is the percent increase of the meal price from last year to this year? So let me make sure first that I'm understanding the question correctly. Last year, the meal cost $7.50. This year costs $9. The price has gone up from last year to this year. That's why it says, what is the percent increase? Because the price is increasing, okay? When I'm solving questions like these, it's so easy to mix up some key details from the question. And so I highly, highly recommend that when you're doing your independent practice, you follow this same step I'm about to show you. I do want to mark that it is $7.50 for last year. This is the cost of the meal last year. I'm not going to include all of that detail, but I do need to know what was last year and what was this year. Okay. And the question asks me, what is percent increase? You could, instead of writing percent increase the way I did, you could write PI. You're going to be asked, what's the percent increase? What's the percent decrease? What's the percent change? All of those things today. Awesome. So I want to make a few annotations, and I'm going to trade colors. I think it's really helpful to change colors, and I'll show you why in just a second. So if you want to pause the video and grab another color, go ahead and do that. This amount, $7.50, was the original amount. So this amount is my 100% or my whole. Why is that? That's because it's original. It is the original. Okay. So then when I'm trying to identify the part, which is another part that I'm sort of given, the part is how much the increase is. Is the increase $9? No, the increase is not $9. The price did not go up or increase by $9. It increased to $9. So what does that mean my increase is? Well, I'm going to subtract my new amount minus my original. Make sure your paper looks like mine. I think this is the trickiest part of the problems you'll see today because it's different from yesterday. So make sure you're getting this down. When I subtract, I see that the increase was only $1.50. So I'm going to circle this one. This is my part. It is the amount, I'm just going to put AMT for amount, increase. It's the amount of the increase. The price increased by $1.50. So I want to know what is the percent increase. So I know the whole, I know the part, I had to subtract to get it, but I know the part, and I know I'm looking for the percent. So let's set up a ratio table. Your paper looks like mine. Okay, I know the whole, the original amount was $7.50, and that represents 100%. All right, I've got decimals in here, which means my multiplication might not work nicely. That's okay, we'll talk about a way to figure that out. I also know that the amount of increase, my part, is $1.50. Whatever I get here, the percent that represents the increase in price will be my answer. So now I just need to use any ratio table strategy in order to solve for this missing value. Take 30 seconds, see if you can figure out that missing value now. It's okay to use a calculator, so if you want to pop open another tab to get your calculator, please do that. Were you able to figure it out? If not, that's okay. Go ahead and tune in now for a strategy that I know you're going to need on your independent practice today, so make sure your notes look like mine. Maybe you don't know what to multiply or divide to get from 750 to 150. There is a factor here, but it's not a fact that we memorize. And so I don't think this is the most helpful relationship to use. I want to remind you of the within ratio relationship. You can use this anytime in a ratio table, and that rate, which is the constant of proportionality, whoa, spicy, is the same throughout the whole table, okay? Because we're working on percent problems, we're always gonna have 100% representing the whole or the original amount, and I can multiply a decimal number by 100 really, really easily. So if I want to know 100 times equals 750, I'm just going to move that decimal point 2 places to the left. I'm going to multiply by 0.0750. So I just moved that decimal point 2 places to the left. And now always double check. Go ahead and in your calculator or using that wonderful brain, 100 times this decimal number. When I multiply by 100, I move the decimal 2 places to the right, and I get 750. Okay, this to me is a lot easier and faster than trying to figure out how many 150s are in 750. But there are many ways to solve for the missing value in a table, so if this way isn't working for you, that's okay. I do want you to write it down because I think you might need it on your independent practice, okay? Now, trying to solve for my missing value, I actually want to go the opposite direction. The opposite? Yes. So I'm going to draw my arrow the other way. Can I multiply by that same number? No, I've got to do the inverse. I'm going to, because I switched direction, I'm going to now divide by that number, 750 10,000s. Okay, go ahead and type that in your calculator, please, and come back in 10. In 5. All right, did you get 20? Nicely done. The increase in price from last year to this year was $1.50. That is 20% of the original cost. So go ahead and write your answer with me. The percent increase is 20%. They increased the price of their meals by 20%. Let's go ahead and look at our answer choices. I do see 20 as one of my answer choices. It is answer choice D. Okay. I'm going to add that into my notes, and I want you to go ahead and enter the answer in your Google form, please. All right. So at this point, you should have entered the answer for question 1 in your Google form D. All right, let's try another question. This time it's your turn. I'm going to give you 1 minute to answer this question. Use the same strategies that we tried. So I'm looking for, in your notes, I'm looking for some annotations about the story problem. Identify the whole and the part. Note that you might need to do subtraction or addition to find your part. Okay? Looking for a ratio table with the relationship you used. You can use an outside between ratio relationship or an inside within ratio relationship. Just try to find the fastest, the easiest way. Okay? 1 minute timer starts now. You should be identifying 2 key pieces of information from the question and labeling the whole first. Okay, go ahead and move on to your ratio table if you haven't already. Let's start together. It's okay if you didn't finish, we'll finish it up together. Last week was $60. Last week the concert ticket cost $60. This week it cost $75. So I made those 2 notes on my paper. I changed color to show my thinking, so not information from the question, but my thinking. I know that 60 was the original, so that's my whole or 100%. I did need to subtract here because the question asked me what is the percent increase. What is, I'm going to put PI for percent increase. Okay, the increase was not 75. The increase was 15 because the price increased by $15. So that's my part. Let's go ahead and set up a ratio table. Percent value 100%. The original was $60. I don't want to put 75 here because 75 is not my increase. That's a common mistake, so check that on your paper. I do want to put 15 because that is the part. Do you know how to get from 60 to 15 using multiplication or division? Yes, you can divide by 4. Remember, an hour has 60 minutes, and 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. There's 4 groups of 15 and 60. If you didn't know that, you could take a middle step of 5. That's a great one. Or a middle step of 1. That's a great one. But I'm just going to go ahead and divide by 4 because I've got that multiplication fact locked away. No matter how you solve, or if you did, wow, I wonder if any of you did this, times 0 and 60 hundredths. You could do that too and then flip it and divide. Any way about it, you should get 25%. Okay, go ahead and write your answer with me. The percent increase is 25%. All right, that was, again, answer choice D. Okay. Ready to go? All right, let's try another one. Question 3 is up next. Let's do this one together. This one is different a little bit. A lot of the same concepts, so think really carefully about what your part is. That's what I think the trickiest part of this work is. All right, question 3. The number of apples in a box decreased, do you hear the difference? From 150 to 135. Decrease means the original amount is larger. The original amount is, yes, What is the percent decrease of the number of apples in the box? All right, let's do it. Okay. Here we go. Question 3. I know that that 150 is the original, and 135 apples is the new amount, because it says it decreased from 150 to 135. So I'm changing color. Here is my whole, or my 100% value. Is 135 my part? No, 'tis not. If I want to find my part, I'm thinking about how much did it increase? I'm sorry, decrease. How much did it decrease? Did it decrease by 135 apples? No, it did not. It did decrease by, let's see, 150 minus 135 equals 15. It did decrease by 15. I'm going to label that my part. I know that that is the amount of decrease. Okay, let's set up a ratio table. It's asking for what is the percent decrease. Here we go. Percent, I'm going to go full screen again. All right, percent and value. Your paper looks just like mine. I know my original amount was 150. The amount of decrease was 15. Ooh, I see easy division. Do you? I could multiply by 1.5 here, but I see divide by 10, and I just think that's even easier. All right, check your work with mine. Go ahead and write your answer in a sentence, please. All right, I got 10%, which was B. Not my best fill in there. All right, let's try another one. You're going to try this one on your own. I'm going to give you 1 minute to set it up. Let's read it together, and that might help you get started and maybe finish in this 1 minute, okay? Question 4, yesterday the Bandits scored 56 points in their basketball game. Today, they scored 42. I see their score went down. What is the percent decrease of the Bandits score from yesterday to today? Go. Should have identified the whole and the part. And working on your ratio table. We're about halfway through our time. Oh, I love this ratio table. What good practice. Last few seconds. If you haven't finished solving for that missing value, that's okay. Go ahead and meet me back here. All right. I went ahead and stopped solving because I just want to talk through the thinking in the ratio table. There are some really great shortcuts here that I want to point out to you and make sure you have in your notes, okay? We know that yesterday was 56, today is 42. Therefore, the amount of decrease was 14 points. They scored 14 fewer points today than they did yesterday. So I'm looking for what percent is 14 of the original amount, right? So 100% is 56, that's yesterday's score. I want to know 14. I don't know how to get from 56 to 14. That's not a multiplication division fact that I know off the top of my head. Could use my calculator to figure it out, but I'm going to go ahead and try a mental math strategy instead. Can you think of a number that goes into 56 and 14 evenly? I'm asking what's a common factor of 56 and 14? Yes, 7. 7 is a common factor of 56 and 14. If I want to go from 56 to 7, I need to divide by 8. And if I want to go from 7 to 14, I need to multiply by 2. I can do that with 100 as well. 100 divided by 8. But when you use your calculator here, I happen to know that it's 12.5, but it's okay to use your calculator there. And then times 2 is 25. Wow, so the percent decrease in points scored was 25%. Let's go ahead and answer that question. Yep, B. Okay. I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to give you a second. Go ahead and pause here and write down this work if you weren't able to get it. All right, ready to move on to the last question. Question 5. I can't wait. Here we go. Margaret's monthly salary was $2,800 last year. This year, she was given a pay increase of 20%. Find her monthly salary for this year. Note, in this question, you're given different information. What are you given? Yes, we're given the percent. And are we given the part or the whole? We're comparing last year and this year. Last year was before the original amount, and we're given that. So we're given the original amount. That is the whole. Okay, that represents 100%. Take 1 minute, solve this problem. We're about halfway through our time. There's a trick, an extra step to this question. So if you think you're done, I want you to think, does my answer make sense? Last few seconds. I can't wait to see who caught it. We'll put a special mark on our paper next to who got that trick. All right. Go ahead and pause here if you want a chance to do that work on your own before I reveal my work. All right, taking a look at question number 5. Here is my answer. $3,360 is her new pay. Okay. If you got that, can you put a nice big check mark next to that answer? If you didn't, that's okay. Let's talk about how we got that answer so that you're really prepared for your independent practice. I know that $2,800 is the whole, that's my original amount. I know it's a 20% increase. I found 20% of 2,800 and I got 560. This was not my answer. Why not? Right, this is just the amount that was increased. It's not the new salary. If she started with $2,800 last year, then I would expect her pay to be greater than $2,800 after a 20% increase. So it does not make sense to say her new pay is $560. Instead, what I have to realize is I need to add her old pay plus her increase. Okay, I'm going to add these two together. Her new pay is actually 120% of her original pay. So that's where my addition happened, and I got $3,360. Pause here to update your paper. Awesome, you guys, you crushed it. We are going to enter the answer for question number 5 in our Google form. I just want you to enter it the way I type it here. 3,360. Whoops, that should have been a dollar sign, sorry. $3,360. Go ahead and enter it just like this so the computer can grade your video question correctly. Pause here to do that. Awesome. All right, folks, we are ready for question of the day. Here it is. What I want you to remember going into your independent practice is that there are many ways to solve the problem. So my question of the day is, what can you do if your between ratio relationships are not working out nicely? Can you find a question from our work today where that happened? When I say working out nicely, what I mean is it's not a fact we know. It's difficult. It's difficult to get there. This happened on question number 1. So I'm going to show you question number 1 one more time. In question number 1, since we didn't know this fact, we used a within ratio relationship. So when our outside relationships are not working nicely, or we can't find a way to do that without getting like a repeating decimal or just racking our brains for a fact that we don't know, we can switch to a within ratio relationship. I'm actually going to type my answer in so it's really clear and you can get your work graded correctly. Okay, so when it's not working out, what I want you to do is use a within ratio relationship. Go ahead and enter your answer just like this in your Google form now. Awesome. Folks, we're ready to do our independent practice and our skill builder. Reminder that you can encourage you to go to office hours to get those Vista virtual points, to get a chance to improve your grade. Make sure you're on the right track with Ms. Russell at 3:15 today. Okay, that's it for me. I will see you guys for another day of fun. Bye.